Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's the Little Aussie Collector here, and today we have a new statue coming to the collection. It is the Prime 1/3 Jungle Hunter. So this was a very anticipated statue coming out. We've had this on order for what seems to be 15 months or so, and finally arrived. And after 90 minutes of setting up, he's ready to display. So let's dive in. So a lot of other YouTubers will be putting this on with the mask on and having the cannon. So I thought I would be a little bit different with the review and put an unmasked portrait on and remove the shoulder cannon. So let's have a look at the unmasked version here of the 1/3 Jungle Hunter. So we'll start off down here on the base. Prime 1 have been getting a lot of pats on the back about how good this base is with the water effect. Definitely does look like he is in a little stream of water here, a little puddle. And we've also got the fish in there, which many people have taken some quite good photographs of all of those fish with the pebbles underneath. So in hand, it looks terrific, really good. Now the tree roots that are sort of coming off the stump at the back there, they look okay there. They've got a little bit of a gloss effect to them. They look fine. As we come around to the back here, we have a tree stump at the back of him with some foliage. So some green leaves. Now, I'm not too sure about where all these leaves actually go. The pictures on the Prime 1 instructional manual were not the greatest, but I think I've just really put them in where I think they will go. They do add a bit of colour to the base, so it doesn't look so brown. We have a couple of little Easter eggs here also on the base before we get to the predator. One of them being this little sort of snake there on the side. Now I'm not sure what kind of snake this is, but he's just peering through the side. I've just managed to put some foliage around there. So he looks quite good. Now the tree stump or the tree base itself, I mean, it looks fine. It's nothing magnificent or anything, but it does add to the base, I guess. I guess the paintwork at the top of it looks a little flat, looks a little, not sure how to say, it looks a little plasticky, I guess. So I think that Prime 1 could definitely still improve their tree painting or their stump painting there, but that's not what we're really here for the video, is it? So let's continue on. Around the other side there, the other little Easter eggs that we've got, because this is the bonus deluxe version. We've got the little scorpion here who sits nicely on the rock there, and we've got Mac's skull, which was a nice deluxe bonus. And we've also got the Hopper dog tags. So they look quite good, actually really small, but quite well detailed. So yeah, overall quite nice. We can get some nice water effects there as I come down, and there's some good footage of the fish, and they look really good from this angle. They look terrific. So we'll move up towards the beast himself, the predator. So now when we say that this is a 3rd scale, it's very big. I'm not sure if the dimensions are actually spot on or anything, but certainly no complaints. The bigger the better in my opinion with this piece, and it certainly does impress. So let's start off with the legs. Now getting the legs in was a bit tricky. Certainly if you had 2 people, that would definitely give you some assistance in being able to line up the pegs. But once they're in, I don't see too many people removing the legs ever again once they're in, because they were a bit tricky to get in. So just wanting to know those collectors who do have this piece coming in, because there'll be quite a lot of people getting this piece in the next couple of months. The legs for me were a bit tricky, but once they did slot in, then I have no issues with it. And I don't think I have any issues with any leaning or anything, because those pegs were very solid, and yeah, I don't think over time we'll have any leaning issues, because I know that's been reported from a few photos in hand. So we come down there. Just one more word for the legs. Just be careful with the toes when you are sliding it in. Don't just let it just drop really quickly. Make sure that those toes do have a little bit of room. Okay, so especially on his right foot, which is on that small angle there, just be careful. Make sure that those toes don't hit the rock. All right, so we continue up. He does have this wet type of look to him, very different to my 1/4 Stan Winston Maggette. That's quite a drier look, but I do like the wet look here. I think the paint is quite nice. It is a little bit darker in person than what it's coming up on the camera, but it's fantastic. So he's got multiple switch outs, of course, so I think a lot of people will be displaying him with the with Billy's spine, which is really well done. A lot of red to it though, so some people might not like the fact that it may detract a little bit from the Predator itself, but I think it gives it a bit of a bit more menacing presence. So I will be displaying it with that, but I have kept out the other arm switch outs. So that spine is really nice. Does have that really red effect. You go all the way up the spine. So like I said, there are multiple switch outs for his hands. I think you get 3 different right hands and 3 different left hands. So I've just gone with an open grip for his left hand. You do get a closed fist version, and also another closed fist with his thumb sort of in an upward position, so his finger is all the way out, which is when you watch Predator and other Predator films, that is pretty accurate to the film, I would think. So that thumb does stick out. Now I don't have any batteries in for the countdown, so the gauntlet with it, but they do light up, so it does require a couple of, I think they're LR41s or 44s, but so this does all light up, and then on the inside also as it opens. But I just don't have any batteries here for those because they're not your normal batteries. All right, coming up towards the torso now. So we've got multiple sort of necklaces, like trophy necklaces, and the spine at the back there. So I have put it around to the side now because he hasn't got the cannon on at the moment. It's quite easy to move that sort of like spinal cord up his back a bit further, which is good. And then we can see a trophy sort of like necklace there across the torso. All these pieces are sort of, you can put them in any position that you wish. They look terrific. Again, that wet look in the upper body. Another necklace there, which has got some more bones and skulls. So really well done. And we'll give you some backing. That's a better representation there of the color, guys. Yep, just there. So you can see the paint's quite well done. All his quills and spikes in the body are well done. We come around to the back here. As you can see, that cord does go all the way up to the top there if you wish. So like another YouTuber said, I do think that the cord at the back is a little bit bigger than what I thought it was going to be. So you can see all that nice details there in his back. Now you do get a little clip-on part to his armor here if you're replacing the cannon, so I'm just showing that there. You do get that, so if the cannon is there, you obviously remove this one section. So we'll come over to the portrait and then we'll show the alternative portraits. So now these, the dreads are slightly movable, which is nice. So there was no breakages in shipping, which is welcome. And the portrait here, so this is, I guess people would be calling this the semi-open mouth portrait. We get a good look there. So some decent vein work. In the middle there we can see some nice veins. And those mandibles are quite, they've got sort of like a two-tone colour effect to them. Yeah, really good. Now with this semi-open mouth portrait, you sort of do get a real snarling type effect, as we can see there. And then it does make his eyes a little harder to see. So if you're standing straight in front, that's the view that you'll get. All the decals on the top of the head look fine. Again, the wet effect that they've done here looks nice. We can see that there in detail. So, looking good. Let's have a look at the other portraits that you can display with it. And I think a lot of people will be just switching out these portraits on a semi-regular basis. But I've also put the shoulder cannon down here as well. So there's the shoulder cannon. It's quite easy, just it goes in with a magnet. So very simple. So the other alternative unmasked portrait here is more of a roaring face. So it is similar. There's no denying the fact it is very similar to the other portrait that I have got on there at the moment. And then we've got his traditional mask with it. So a lot of people will be displaying this, or you do get a second mask with it as well. So this one here looks like nice on display just next to him. Now these bust holders here that you get with them, you get 3. They are very heavy, so they're not falling off any shelves. And I would think that the busts themselves with the portrait might weigh maybe 6 or 7 kilos perhaps. So those that are getting the closed mouth version, which has got a torso to it, and the Medikit, I think they're going to be really happy, because the quality of these bust holders and the busts themselves are nice. And I do think that closed mouth portrait will be very sought after, that's for sure. Alrighty guys, so there's a very quick look at the 1/3 Predator. I know that there's going to be 1,000 videos on YouTube in the coming weeks and months, that's for sure. But I thought I'd just give you a little bit of a different display there with an open mouth and no cannon. Now he does take a fair bit of time to set up, so make sure you allot a good hour to 2 hours to set him up, and just be careful taking everything out of the box. There's a lot of pieces, so making sure you take your time with him. Certainly commands a lot of presence in the collection. He's very tall. He is almost as tall as the Infinity Studios Batman behind him. And for a 1/3, he is a full 90 centimeters tall. So he's as tall as Superman bust. So for a 1/3 statue, he's very tall. But I think a lot of eyes will be drawn straight to him when people come in and have a look at the collection. Well, there we go, guys. There's the Prime 1/3 Jungle Hunter. So, fantastic piece. Just be careful with those legs, guys, that's for sure. That's the biggest issue that I had. And also, just another side one there is just the wrist blades I found one was a little bit loose on the long one, so it did fall out, so you've got to be careful with those. So I put the medium ones in instead of the long ones, and they seem to fit a lot nicer. So yeah, just be careful of that, just a word of warning. All right, 1/3 predator in the house. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video.